Off. Today is day 246 of the year of streaming and learning to code. We are continuing on here at Code Wars. We are on the hunt for a CADA to complete. Hopefully, we can complete it tonight. We finally made it through yesterday's CADA, which was a 2-day event. That was pure hell. Little kitty, what are you doing? You've circled the camera 2 or 3 times already. No. Oh my god, no laying on the keyboard. Look, I know you want scratches. We're just going to avoid this, and you're just going to go straight into assuming the napping position. Ugh, claws. Oh, god. Okay. Hey, wow, Tenacious Raptor. Honestly, now I'm looking at your stream for the challenges without the need to create... Wait, honestly, now I'm looking at your stream for the challenges without the need to create a CODEWARS account. Plus, it's interesting. Well, that's good to know. Also, Tenacious, I saw your comment earlier via Discord. Like, it got the notification on my phone. Actually, I still may have it showing. Yeah, look at that. See? Right. Let me go back to OBS. Right. Oh, god, it's somewhere. That's that blue one, purplish one. That's the Discord one. Yeah, 6:35. I saw that busy earlier, but I tried to go in like, I want to say like an hour and a half ago. I don't know why, but the app crashed on my phone. It started loading up, and then before it like went into Discord goodness and go into the different server stuff, it was the purple screen of goodness loading, and then it just crashed on me. So I was kind of hopeful you would swing by, but yes, I'm definitely interested in seeing your clever Java workaround that you had mentioned towards the end of yesterday's stream. But that's all. I just sort of wanted to acknowledge that, and good timing on your part for swinging by. So way cool. Good to have you. Continuing on with today, though, day 246, we are going to try and tackle one of the other holes in our level 6 journey. Again, we had skipped a couple. We tried to only skip by passing one lesson. I think it's the Tribonacti one, which I believe is kind of similar to what we were doing yesterday. Not in the sense of comparing side to each side of the array, but computing, compiling, summing. One of those summing portions of the array. Tenacious Raptor. Yeah, just message me when you get on again, and I'll get on. Way cool. Thank you. And as a heads up, probably not tomorrow, which is Monday. I think tomorrow I'm going to try and go back to Free Code Camp, finish up some weather app nightmare, that project they had us working on. But I think Tuesday I think I'll finally be at a good spot where I can dive into your side project that you had sort of walk me through. I'm just concerned about like tying everything together, setting up, like loading the proper files and stuff. I know you left a lot of comments, aside from downloading everything that initial day when we spoke like a week ago. I haven't done much with it, so that's all. Just if you hear a cry for help on Tuesday, it's me. It's not that it's urgent, just wanted to give you a heads up. So thank you in advance. And again, speaking of doing stuff, what are we looking for? There it was. And not take a 10-minute walk. That's a special kind of nightmare we're going to save for another day. Tribonacti sequence. Let's open that in a new tab. Equal sides of an array. Oh, and build a pile of cubes. We don't want to deal with the cube fiasco. Let's do the Tribonacti sequence. Tenacious Raptor. Yeah, sounds good, man. I teach on Tuesdays in the morning. Other than that, I'll be free. That's okay. I don't wake up till noonish anyways. Although, you know what? No, that's not true. That's been true for a couple weeks. We've had a recent change in schedule. So, but yes, good to know. It'll be later. I'm hopeful I'll be able to start midday Tuesday. But that's what I say every day about the stream, and it's 12:02 right now in the middle of the night. So we'll see. Take it with a grain of salt. From the top, Fibonacci sequence. Well met with the Fibonacci bigger brother, aka Fibonacci. As the name may already reveal, it works basically like a Fibonacci, but summing the last 3 instead of 2, the numbers of the sequence to generate the next. And worst part of it, regrettably, I won't get to hear the non-native Italian speakers trying to pronounce it, aka me. So we're here to start Fibonacci sequence with 111 as a starting point, aka signature. We have this sequence 111 sums up to 3. Then we go to the last 3, including the most recent output, 113 equals 5. Then we have 135, which equals 9, and so forth. 359 is 17, 59, 17 is 31, blah, blah, blah. But what if we started with 001 as a signature? As starting with 01 instead of 11 basically shifts the common Fibonacci sequence by one's place. You may be tempted to think that we would get the same sequence shifted by the second place, but that's not the case, and we would get 001 is still 1. We get 011, which is 2, 11124, blah, 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 and so forth. Well, you may have guessed it by now, but to be clear, you need to create a Fibonacci function that, given a signature array list, returns the first n elements, signature included, of the so-seeded sequence. Signature will always contain 3 numbers and will always be a non-negative number. If n equals 0, then return an empty array and be ready for anything else which is not clearly specified. I feel like this is referring to after what? This is like the 3rd or the 4th time I've thought about tackling this CADA. I think they're saying if the signature is all zeros, 0, 0, 0. If the whole thing is 0, then it's just dead in the water. If you enjoyed this CADA, more advanced and generalized versions of it can be found on Exponocti CADA. Personal thanks to Professor Jim Fowler on Coursera for his awesome classes that I really recommend to any math enthusiast, and for showing me this mathematical curiosity too. Yeah, good. Too, with his usual contagious passion. Alright, time to kick off the nightmare. Go time. Diving into Fibonacci hell. Here come the tears. So we've got some test ones in front of us. Look at this. All zeros across the board. Ta-da! Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Interesting, but it keeps repeating 0. I wonder why it goes... Why does it stop? Oh, because we're given the signature and the number of times it has to run. Interesting. So this is technically what they were talking about here. If n equals 0, return an empty array. See, we do have numbers in our signature, but it doesn't matter because they don't want us to run it at all. Well, that's weird. Why is it still 1? Why is the array 1 instead of 3? Oh, it's the first 3 of the sequence. So even though we're returning 10, The signature takes up the first 3 places, 0 through 2, or 0 through 3 if we're slicing, but okay. Right now we're just coming to terms with what the hell we're up against. Halves and 30 spaces. Well, that's just gonna suck a lot of not fun stuff. Alright. So we'll have our if stuff for our returns towards the end. But in the meantime, it's taking the signature, which is the first 3 spaces of our output that we'll have, and it's continuing to sum and add on. Little kitty, what do you think we should do? Yeah? Maybe walk around the keyboard, I suppose. I don't think we have enough room on our desk to walk around the keyboard as gracefully as you do. Why don't you go hang out on the bed? Yeah? Good? Oh, yeah, who likes the leg scratches? You do. Okay, so, more importantly, let's do this. From the top, we should probably do something where we're taking signature, but what are we doing with signature? We are taking copy. In a perfect world, 1, 1, and 1 would be the first 3 of something. We want to reduce signature. We want to reduce it. Oh my god, cat, you put on caps lock, you furry abomination. Reduce function. Yes. A, comma, B. Again, sort of similar to yesterday's. I don't know if we'll actually be able to utilize any of yesterday's code in today's solution. If we get stuck, I'm sure there would be heavy altering that would be needed. But yeah. Signature, reduce, function, A, B. There's more to this. Curly braces with a semicolon and return A plus B. There we go. Nice and easy. No tears. Look at that. We do want, this is a variable. At least all the examples on MDN are a variable of sorts. So we should call it SIG_sum. We'll call it SIG_sum. Well, usually we come up with terrible variable names. Actually, usually we aren't able to come up with any variable names, but this works. So we're taking signature, we're going to reduce it, and we're going to end up with SIG_sum. Out of curiosity, let's go ahead and return SIG_sum and see what we get for now. And we'll build this out piece by piece. You and your function. What does it mean when it starts to change? Apparently nothing. No, we're okay. We're okay. We got the signature. 1, 2, 3. That's a 3 and blah. We're on the right step. Good. Tenacious Raptor. Oh my fucking god, dude. Never seen a cat put on caps lock before. Yes, hilarious to others, soul-crushing to me. But now she's napping and sucking on her toes on the far side of the bed. Give her time, though. She'll come back and try and destroy and sabotage the stream. She's lethal. Adorable, but lethal. SIG_sum. From here, I think I want to push, add, include. What's the right phrase to add something to an array? I want to say it's push. It's just push. You can push anything at any point. I'm so used to always trying to push outputs or returns to an empty string, but we can just push straight on to the end of a string. At least I think I can. So sig sum would be that. We want to is it I think there's a better version than push. Maybe we'll call it n array. Let's have a variable and it'll be n array and we'll have to loop through it. We're going to need a for loop at some point. Because we're going to want n, and it tells us it wants us to have 10 characters overall. Or, in this one, 30 characters overall. Or 1 or 0. So those will be the first 3. And we need to go 7 past. I'm trying to figure out how we would either set up a for loop to stop after 10 places. I guess that would be array less than 10 or array less array dot length, you know, but I less than 10, I less than n. It would be I array length n array n. Who invited this guy? Why am I should not be at the helm of this. Why are we always coding after midnight? Tenacious Raptor. Append. Is that what I'm looking for? Append? I think that's probably right. MDN push and other stuff. Is it append? Push. Why can I not select? There we go. There we go. Oh, that's great. I can select everything I'm already on push. You big dumb idiot, Steven. I was like, look, I can select map, pop, reduce, and reduce right, but not push. I'm already on push. This is an omen of what's to come. Just deep confusion is on the horizon. Happy thoughts. So append. See? Push 4 goes right to the end, and I want to keep pushing onto it. I want to push blank a number of times. I don't think that's right. Let's do MDN, JavaScript, append. Node. Interesting. And push. So similar, I would hope. Although I have no idea. Node.append child. Throws. Unscopable. Yeah, we'll stick with push for our JavaScriptiness solution for now. So variable n array, I can live with that. N array will be an empty array and we can concatenate N array plus signature. I don't know if we want to do that at the end or start with that. Hold on. Because I think it would be easier to just either continue adding on to signature. You know, signature, that's right, signature's already an array. We don't have to push or do anything. This is like last night with Warbear and Tough Nugget. Signature is already an array itself. All we're doing is continuing to add on to signature. So, in theory, we don't need to creating a whole separate new array to add, and then we'd have to concatenate, and it's just, then you're gonna have to reference one index from the signature array to continue on for the first three. It's bad. It's gonna get messy. It's gonna get messy. Simplify. So, first step, signature reduce. We're gonna take those three, and we're gonna add them all together. And that's gonna give us our next bit, which we will take that sum, sig sum, and we will take signature. Oh my god, can I do this? Am I allowed to? Can I do signature push sig sum? There's no way they're going to let me do that. And then if I return signature, there's no way they're going to let me do that. I wouldn't let me do that. It worked, guys. It worked. Simple mind, simple pleasures. Did you see that? We pushed it and we updated it with sig sum, and it continues. So now we need to tell it to do this n times, really. Maybe n minus 3, since we already have the first 3 spaces. Can we do n minus 3? What I'm concerned is if we put in a negative number. Like, I know 0 will do nothing. It will be dead in the water. That's okay, baby steps. Don't worry about the further stuff. Let's land this first bird. I can't believe that works. That's so cool. Yeah. Little kitty, did you see that? No? Kind of? Maybe? Jeez, that's her head. Yeah, little cat doing her thing. Continuing on. Okay, so far, the city's not on fire yet. I mean, 20 minutes in, usually there's bodies lying everywhere and everything's reduced to ashes. But not today. Give us time. So this can go away for now. We have push in sig sum. Reduce the last 3. Don't mind me. Tiny crisis. Think amongst yourselves. Here's the task at hand. Will be... yeah, well, that's good enough. Alright. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Alright, crisis averted. All good. Back into action. What are we doing? We have Fibonacci. We've got our signature, our initial 3 of the array, and then n, the number of total indexes within our array, elements, values we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, just making sure I wasn't crazy. Currently, we are reducing the signature, which is A plus B, and then we're returning that. And now we're taking signature, the starting point, our first 3 of that array, and then we're pushing the sum onto it. And when we return that, it adds on nicely. 1, 1, 1 returns 3. Now, what we need to do is always return the last 3. So this is good. So now we set up a for loop for blank, and it will always be start. Oh my god, I can kind of see it. I've been waiting for this moment 246 days for me to be able to think through something and kind of have an idea of what I should maybe do. So watch this. Variable I, instead of starting at 0 at the beginning of the array, what we're going to do is as it continues to grow, it will always be the end, the length of it. So that will be signature copy dot length minus. Now I know -1 gives us the actual last, because if you do the length, it will tell you currently they're looking for, the majority of these, 10. There is no 10 because it's 0 index, so this last guy is 9. So if we do -1, that would actually give us our last bit that we need to process. So we want to at least do -3 because the last 3 places. So -3 would give us 7. And I know we should just throw in all the info and just run it and do it that way, but I'm trying to mentally prepare for the frustration to come. So if we do 10 minus 3, which is really out of the array, -1 brings us to 9, -2 brings us to 8, -3 brings us to 31. Well, 7. Yeah, and it would start at 7. If we had 3, if we did array length, yeah, let's do that. So array length would be 4. If we did -1, it would say start at 3, which is the last one. We don't want to start at the last one. If we did -2, it would start there, and -3. Okay, all right. Maybe that'll work. 4 minus 3 is 1. All right, we will do that. So it is -3. I don't know why. The 0 index is throwing me off. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy, which we know I am, but nevertheless, it's craziness out of the desire to be better eventually one day. So we're going to start at signature length -3 and something. Push on with the stuff. Why are we confused? Signature. Oh, No, not signature. We want it to stop when I is equal. How do we tell it n? How do we tell it 10? I don't even know what I'm looking for. Usually it's signature.length. You know, and we'll have or not I plus plus, right? Right, that's normal. Left, sorry. I is less than signature length. That's just gonna go on essentially forever, which is gonna be bad times for everyone. So what we need it to do is stop with n. N will be 10. It's when we want it to stop when signature length is equal to n, when signature length is less than n. Yeah. Not when I is less than signature length, but when signature length itself is less than n. So it would stop at 9, which is 0 to 9. That's 10 elements in an index. I can't believe I may actually be piecing this together. So now what am I actually doing? Inside the for loop. Don't lose it now, Stephen. Don't lose it now. For something something. Blah. What do? We want it to continue to reduce. I almost want to put this back in here. Wait a second. Death. Hold on. Got dead skin or kitty fur. Something awful. Dear God. We're falling apart. Sigsum. I can wrap my head around the reduce thing outside of the for loop. This and this is fine. That makes sense. See? Look at this. Return signature. We have our initial 3. We're going to reduce A plus B, totals up all 3. And then when we have that total, which is sig sum, we are going to take our original 3 signature and we're going to push on that new total. Ta-da! And then we're going to return signature. And it gives us that 4th one. So we need to keep doing that. And it's only going to... So that's where our for loop comes in. So we need to keep doing that process. This process. With these conditions. Variable I is equal to signature length. Okay. We want to stop when I is equal when I feel like I need I in here somehow. Normally it's I less than signature length, but I want it to go based off N. So I want to do when signature length is less than N and increment by that. Copy. I also want to just drop this in and just repeat it. However, there's no I in this, which is somewhat unfortunate. Variable I equals signature length minus 3. So it's going to start at signature I. Signature I. No. I can see it. I just am struggling with turning it into code. I'm right there on the edge. Let's get rid of this. So I would normally equal 0. In this case, it doesn't equal 0. In this case, it equals signature length. I would also normally be less than signature length, but in this case, we are doing signature length is less than N for some weird reason, because N is 10, so I want it to stop after 10. See, signature isn't... Wait, is it? Hold on. Is signature a set length? Signature is a set length. It will loop through and reach the end. Oh god, we're sneezy. Save yourselves. Oh god, our face. We're oozing from the inside because of little kitty and allergy death. Maybe let's just leave it with signature length for now and see what happens. I++. So sig copy signature I would do something. We are going to take... I want to just take signature and reduce it again. That's what I want to do. I want to just do exactly this. I want to take all of signature. For variable I want it to start at the third one. I want it to start from 3 from the end. And reduce the whole thing. It will start 3 from the end. It will go until it reaches the end. And then I will increment by 1.
and then we'll push it. Super death. There might be a second for loop or some other issue down the road, but we're gonna get there. Signature length -3. It will always start there. So we want signature I. We want to reduce or slice. Maybe we don't even need a for loop. What if we just slice and reduce? What if we just slice and reduce? What if we take signature dot slice signature from copy and it goes to the end. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Return signature again. Oh, that's supposed to be a variable. We'll just call it sig3. Variable equals variable sig3 for the last 3 equals, and return sig3. It worked. Oh my god. Okay, so I may actually not even need a for loop at all. So once we have sig3, we can reduce again. No, we're in a loop state. We need to be looping. But it does help to visualize what the hell's actually happening. So, caught between a rock and a hard place. We'll see. Once we cause enough nonsense, we'll be able to piece this together. Variable sig. So we reduced the first 3, and we pushed that onto signature. Now, we're taking signature again. We're just taking the last 3, which, you know what, we could start with this, actually, because there's always going to be 3 from the get-go. So we could always do signature slice 3, and that's that. But what we want to do is the sum. So reduce. How do I reduce that? I guess we would do dot reduce. Blankety blankety blank. And here, return sig3 5. That is the next thing. Copy. Copy again. Signature push. Sig3. run so this is really the loop we want. So what exactly am I telling it to do? These are the parts that need to change. So push 1. Oh, what is it? We're looking at it right here. I almost want to do it a third time. But that just feels excessive. Screw it. Copy it. Do it. Copy. So we'll call this, it's not a good variable name, but sig4, just to show the difference. And returning signature again. Watch this. See? 9. 5, 9. So continuing on this pattern, this is what our for loop needs to deal with. But what is the for loop actually? We've got our variable I. And it's signature length minus 3. Maybe that's what this is. See, instead of just signature reduce, because it's 3 currently, really, it's sig 3. This, I think, is I. Because signature slice, signature.length minus 3, and then we're reducing, and then we're going to push I back on to the signature, and we keep updating that. So before, it was, let me do capital I to better visualize, but sig I was 3, and then it loops through, and then it did it a 4th time, and then it'll loop through, and then it'll be a 5th time, and it'll push 5. But we don't need the whole thing. It can just be variable I. Just like this. Maybe that's our for loop. Maybe this is exactly what I am looking for. Because it would start with... it would start with 0. But we don't want it to start with 0. We want it to start with the length minus 3. That's 0. So that is 0. Signature length minus 3. So we don't have to worry about having the slice minus 3. Since the I is slice minus 3, we could get rid of this and just do reduce for signature. and then push it. I think we may have just solved our problem. Usually yammering out loud hasn't really led to anything successful like this ever in the last 246 days, but this seems slightly different than our normal nightmares that we are up against. We can get rid of this, which is part of slice, so we can get rid of slice. This variable I will be signature minus 3. So 0. I will be 0 minus signature length, and then it will go up by 1 when it loops through. But we're also going to push. We need it to stop looping, though. We need it to stop looping after 10. Maybe let it continue to count. I don't know if it's allowed. But if we do I, or if we do or, and do I is less than n, so it will continue to run when I is less than the signature length, and it will continue to run. Maybe it will. Maybe it needs to be and. Maybe it needs to be and instead of or, because it should stop after it finishes the first one. I think. I'm just afraid of running it without any or and statement, because it's going to be an infinite. I think it's going to be an infinite loop. It feels infinite to me, and that's bad times. So let's try this. There's no way in hell I'm going to pull this off. Let's give it a go. Run. It was a dumb idea. We have a return statement. We shouldn't have a return statement. What happened? Process was terminated. It got 1113, and then it got 6, which is kind of weird. And then it got 12. What the f*** happened to them? Three, 6. It's because of the return statement in the pushing. Maybe we need a while loop. While blank is less than n, while counter is less than n. No, while length is less than n. While signature dot length is less than n, do the following. Cut and while signature dot length is less than n, no. Variable counter count. Signature. Sack of death. Hold on. Let's put this back really quick. Cut. Paste. Get rid of that. Drop that down. Comment out this beast. Drop this in. Okay, so that's what we got. We got 6. So what if we did variable minus 2 and run that? No, that still got 6. Minus 3. That seems right. It should be signature length. I will equal signature length minus 3. It will stop when signature length is less than n, iterate I plus 1, variable 0 will be signature blank, return AB, signature push I. And there's that. And then when we're done, we return signature. So, well, we got 1. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're so close. We're off by... I'm not sure how much we're off by. 1, I don't get how the hell it's coming up with 3 and then how it's getting to 6. Is it doubling itself? The f is going on? Oh, it is doubling itself. We don't want it to double itself. We want not reduce. We want it to do something else. We need, hey, Tough Nuggets. What up, Steven? How goes it? It goes almost good. Concerning, but good. How's your night going? Or day, or morning, or whatever. Whatever time of day / night it is for you, hopefully it's going well. Look, it's, traditionally, it's, what is it? Fibonacci? Tribonacci? Fibonacci. Where you have one letter and then another letter, it's 2, and it continually adds. So 1 plus 2 would be 3, and then 2 plus 3 would be 5, and then 5 plus... well, I'm getting confused, but... Now it's taking 3 instead of 2 numbers. So 1, 1, 1, 3. 1, 1, 3 is 5. 1, 3, 5 is 9. So you're always taking the last 3 and totaling it. So that's what we're up against right now. And the parameters, they always give you a signature, which is the 3 numbers you start with. It's also the 3 numbers of the array you will be returning. Then they give the parameter n, the number of spots, the length, or the number of elements in the array, which most of them are 10. There is one that's 1. There is one that's 0, which returns empty, and then they've got this fun one for 30, so 30 spots. But really, ideally, they all function very, very similar. So that's what I'm up against. Where did our sneeze rag go? Don't mind me. My face is leaking. Allergy issues. So that's what we're up against right now. Similar for their other example, 0, 0, 1 would be the first 3. So when you sum that, still equals 1. The last 3 of the current would be 0, 1, 1, so 2. And then from there, 1, 1, 2 is 4, and blah, blah, blah. 1, 2, 4 is 7. We get the picture. So, we came so close. Tough Nuggets. So the signature length is always 3, correct. And this is what we had before, just kind of manually figuring out what the hell was going on. I had variable signature sum, which took signature, the initial 3, and reduced them, which worked out very nicely, by the way. And so I just took signature sum, that total, which was 3 for the first example, 1, 1, 1, gets reduced to 3. And I took that sig sum and I just pushed it right back onto signature. And then it gave us an array of 4 values, 1, 1, 1, and 3. So then I continued that party down here with sig 3. And that was sig 3, and it was the same song and dance, but this time we were slicing 3 from the end, and then reducing all of that fun. So we were always taking the last 3 of that array, because now that it was 4, we needed to identify the length. But I also realized we can still use this even from the get-go, even from square one, because they always give us 3. And the length minus 3 would still be 0, not important, and then pushing it on. So I was trying to find the loop by doing it manually. What things were staying the same and what were changing, and it seemed like all that was changing was the variable name. Here I did sig 4 and returned sig 4. So I took this and since the only things that were changing were the variable name and what I was pushing, I figured I would just do my for loop based on that. And I could make I the signature length minus 3. You know what? This is where that doesn't... This is why we want slice, because it will always take this. When we do the signature length here for I, it gets confused. Fascinating. Let's take slice and put that back in. Copy. Slice. Reduce. And variable. So it'll start minus 3. It will start at 0 and increment through them. Really, that's just the name. So technically, this could be 0. Because we are starting at the beginning of the first 3. Signature length is less than n, and we want that. When signature length is less than n, we want it to stop, because n will be 1. So I'm not sure how this is all going to work out, but let's go ahead and run it just for fun. Tough Nuggets, why are we starting at 0? I don't know. I know it should be length minus 3, but when I was running it, it has to do with reduce. It was like doing the total plus the total. It wasn't just doing... we'll see here. Look, let me just run this nightmare as I begin to slowly weep into the keyboard. Right there. Maybe? Yes! Beautiful. And then we set up our if statement for the other stuff. Yeah. Boom. Take that, Code Wars. So, beforehand, Tough Nuggets, shouldn't the start of your loop be aka 3, the 4th slot in your array? Kind of. I guess it could be. Suppose there's no downside to that. Start at 4. Push I don't know. I mean, I started just right here. I started with the first 3, and then I reduced it. And then once I had the sum of the first 3, I just pushed that total back on. So for the first one, it was 3, or 111, which gave us 3. And I just pushed that onto signature, and when I returned signature, it returned all 3 like it should. So then from there, since I only needed to return the last 3, I decided to do signature and slice the length of it minus 3, because in the end, just for the whole Fibonacci thing, it's always the last 3 numbers in the array. And then so I was going to reduce the last 3 of the current array length, which worked out well because then it gave me 5. So then I got that and just pushed it back on, and I had 1 through 5, and that worked out well. So I did the same song and dance again just to double check to see what was changing, and the only things that were changing was the variable length and, or the variable name, technically, and that name again when I go to push it. And I felt, since I was setting up the for loop, I could always, with each loop, I would just do the slice, the signature length minus 3. That's why I had that up here, because the first one, it does start at 0, which is what I need. But then after looping through, the length of it would be 4, and the minus 3 would start me at 1, which is what I would need, and continued on, so forth and so forth. But it had to do with reduce. Just the way, like, reduce, it kept doing the total issue, which was what I was running into yesterday. So from here, 1 to 3, and then it was returning 6, and then it was returning 12, and then A plus B was doing, it was returning 24, and it kept stacking it. So I changed it to 0, because theoretically starting at 0, and then I forced the slice into the loop. Yeah. And that seemed to be mostly good. And I know from here I'll need an if-else statement to continue returning stuff. But that's currently where we stand, which means this should probably be in the if statement already. How do I want to go about doing that, though? If, else if, else? If, else if, else. Just 3 scenarios, really. Tough nuggets. If n less than 3, do stuff. Wait, where are we starting at 0? Shouldn't the start of your loop be 3 from the 4th slot in your array? Looks like the slicing solution is working for you. Ignore me. Tough night, skip, you're right. Okay, that's legit solution. Well, I'm sure it's one of the many possible solutions. Again, this is my caveman solution to this problem, so I'm still, even though there's lots of green, I am certain there's a far better solution out there, but this is the best I could come up with. And that was my clever workaround to the reduce fiasco that I had earlier. Why is our face constantly leaking? We should get this checked out. Alright, so our for loop could be there. Shouldn't this be in our if some condition curly stuff? Curly stuff followed by else if conditions, more curly stuff, followed by else, yeah, good. Probably cut and paste. So for all of this, let's get a little breathing room amongst some of this stuff. Tough nuggets. Just have a return inside your if statement. Wait, so if n less than 3, do stuff. Just have a return inside your if statement. So if n is less than 3, your for loop never runs. Oh. Clever solution. So if n is less than 3, do stuff. So wait, does that mean I don't need all this else if nonsense down here? I don't think so. I can probably get rid of my while loop. This can go back to normal. Okay, there's that. And we can remove the for loop from here. Cut. This can go above the return, as it should be. Oh, why is that so far out? 1, 2. 1, 2. Just some general spot correcting, formatting issues. 4. Oh, too far. Okay, so that's our for loop. We've got our, signature push. Just kidding. That needs to go inside. Cut. Not gonna get very far with that. Oh my god, I totally destroyed our for loop. Uh-oh. Bad Steven. Bad Steven. I just destroyed everything. Hold on. Hold on. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Just everything will be fine. Once I see return back down. Yeesh. Hold on. Okay. Return signature is there. Why do I still have my if statement? I can get rid of, all I need to do is get rid of this. Yeah. And that. Okay. Crisis averted. Thank God. Alright. So, Tough Nuggets. Sorry about that fiasco. Complete tangent of freaking out. If n less than 3, do stuff. Just have a return inside of your if statement. So if n is less than 3, your for loop never runs. Tough Nuggets, nope. Good, good. Tough Nuggets, if less than 3, return a subslice of the signature, else run the loop, the return signature. One more curly, you need to delete. Will do. I'm actually going to get rid of all this noise as well, since I thought through everything, and we no longer need that. We will have our if loop from the beginning. If n is less than 3, yeah, curly stuff, else run this, the for loop, and one more curly brace, followed by return the signature. Okay, outside of the else. I think that'll be fine. And here, we can have, what do they want? They want, if it's 1 or 0. It would be slice 0. It would be signature dot slice 0 comma n. Because if it's 1, it would cut to 1 and it would return 0, which is a single value. So that would work. And if it was empty, n would be 0 and it would cut 0 and it would return nothing. God, I hope that's right. So, slice signature dot slice 0, comma n. And that should be variable. Well, I guess we can just do return that. And I think that should suffice for our first one. We can try it. Yeah, holy shit, it worked. That's incredible. Oh, tough nuggets. You saved the day yet again. Alright, tough nuggets. The one more curly that you needed to delete. Awesome. Rogue curly under signature push I. Oh, rogue. Wait, that curly is fine. Oh, that one. And actually, I'm looking at the extra semicolon. That was a stowaway. Never mind, the curly is fine. It's the end for the for loop. Oh, yeah, this guy. Yes, good, good. Awesome. And we'll run it once more since we got rid of the extra semicolon. Look at that. Yeah, we figured it out. That was so much better than yesterday. Oh my god. Yesterday was 3 hours. Today was only an hour and 20 minutes, which is pretty damn impressive. Well, actually, yeah, hour and 23 minutes. Wait for it. An hour and 23 minutes and 45 seconds now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No? No one else likes that? Yeah, it's okay. You'll figure that out halfway back to your mat. That was also a Family Guy reference, like a really old early episode. But anyways, good times. Tough Nuggets, congrats, dude. Thank you very much. Especially towards the end with the if loop, keeping us on track. We were that close to bursting into tears, but you were able to keep us on course. So let's go ahead, submit this as our final attempt. I'm surprised at the majority of stuff that I was able to figure out for myself. All through trial and error, too. Kinda awesome. Well, for me, we've had to lower our standards of cool and good pretty substantially, but we figured it out. Look at this. All that noise. Yeah. Good times. Good times. Alright, and submit final. We'll see what the cool kids had to say for their answers. Hey, little cat, did you see that? We figured it out? Yeah. She doesn't care. Alright, function Fibonacci signature n for variable I, 0, n less than 3, I plus plus, iterate n times, signature push, signature I plus signature I plus 1 plus signature I plus 2, and the last 3 array items in push to trib. Return slice 0 to n, return trib minus length of n. Conceptually, yeah, it's similar because, well, I mean, that could be said about all of them. These all solve the same problem, but we can kind of make out what they're doing. I do prefer mine. Oh, constant and a while loop. I want to get to this point. I don't do constant enough. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I want to start implementing constant and while loops more. So result length, and I had that earlier. I had signature dot length less than n. But then I didn't know what to do inside of it, so I got scared and turned away and went down a different path. Function Fibonacci Sn variable array is empty. For loop C, pushing. I push a lot because it's just, it happens. People push things to places. But last night really put it into perspective that I don't really need to push that much stuff. I did use push in today's, but normally there's like 6 for loops and 9 things are getting pushed, and it gets messy. So I tried to simplify. I tried to do as minimal pushing as possible. Function, while loop, blankety blankety blank, sig stuff. I still like mine. Mine was pretty straightforward and legible. See, the slice eliminates the need for both the if and else if in one. Kinda cool. Oh, res.push I. Oh no, I thought this was their whole solution. I was like, well, that's really concise. No, it's all of this. Dear God. Alright, well, good times. I like our solution that we came up with. That's all I needed. Currently 236 points. Here at CODEWARS, let's take a look at our profile. And now we currently stand 82% of the way through level 6 here at CODEWARS. We are now 36,264. Always climbing, making progress. Still have a long ways to go to get to the top. But we are looking forward to that journey. We can close out of this nonsense. Hey, Tenacious. Alright, Tenacious Raptor. What's funny is JavaScript is written on Scheme. Scheme is a goddamn nightmare. JavaScript is a goddamn godsend. Interesting. I still have, there was a course I got through Udemy going over like all the integral aspects of JavaScript from like square one basically to the end, and I'm still in the beginning portions of it, but like even going about how JavaScript interfaces and interacts with like the compiler, or whatever compiler it's using, and stuff like that. So it's definitely sort of a granular course, but they do, despite how detailed it is, at least early on, it's broken down into fairly basic language, and they've got all their different descriptions and schematics to show. It's been a great course so far. I'm only like a fifth of the way through, but I need to finish the rest of that course because it is rather insightful. Anywho, good times. We survived. Tenacious Raptor, look up Scheme if you don't believe me. Oh, no, I do believe you. I definitely do. And we'll save more nightmares for another day. We survived day 246. As it comes to an end, in fact, we can back out of CODEWARS over to OBS. Day 246 comes to an end. The adventure continues tomorrow with day 247 of the year of streaming and learning to code. Thank you again to everyone who stopped by to view the stream. Tonight we had Tenacious Raptor and Tough Nuggets. Anyone else who may have accidentally stumbled in here to view the stream as well, thank you very much. Any and all views are greatly, greatly appreciated. In the meantime, we are stopping the stream. Are you sure you want to stop the stream? Hell yeah. Kill it.